Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to do another video on the Arcade1up claw machine that we're going to be taking a look at here and doing the artwork overlay on this. I got the Toy Story claw machine overlay, the graphics that I just got from Tulsa Arcades. I'll have a link down in the description below to what I purchased from him, and I'm super excited to get this installed because, like I said in the review when I did this, the artwork on this thing is very, very generic, very boring. And I'm excited to finally take this apart and actually get this installed, though. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little intimidated and nervous because I don't apply artwork very often. Obviously, I knew what I was getting myself into, but there's a lot of pieces to install on here. They do have a tutorial video on YouTube on how to do it, and I'll also link that down in the description below, which is the same video I'm about to follow, so there's no reason to redo that for this video. So I will just show you like little progresses here and there just to show you guys how it's looking every once in a while. But yeah, I don't do artwork very often. I wouldn't be surprised, unfortunately, if I mess up on a part or two and it's not perfectly installed. But I'm going to do my best as somebody who doesn't do this all the time. But I'm super excited about this because, like I said, the claw machine was actually a pretty big hit. I had a party over with a bunch of people over in this house, and the claw machine was used constantly for like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 hours nonstop. I did have to eventually, after 4 or 5 hours, one time so far, do that claw reset that a lot of people talked about online. I had to do it once, and then it was back up and running. It took me like 5 minutes to do. So hopefully that's not something that occurs too often. But other than that, it's been fantastic ever since then. Now, this is part 1 of a series because this is not the only modification we're going to be doing to this. I specifically haven't done anything else to this machine because I've been waiting for the graphics to get here because I'm still trying to figure out what to put inside these things that I have in here are not like the final form, and I have other things that I want to do to this machine as well that people have done. But what I really like to know from you guys, if you guys can leave comments down below, is I am looking for good plushies that I can use on this Arcade1up claw machine that I can use as prizes that I could put in here that would kind of match it, because obviously I want to be able to put a bunch of the aliens from Toy Story, probably put like a Buzz or a Toy Story hiding underneath them as a plushie or whatever, and do that. And I think for all the balls surrounding that, what I want to do is put things that I like in each one of them, whether it be candy or a cool toy collectible. I don't know. I'm trying to think of ideas on what to do with those balls and what to fill inside, and I think it's going to be things that I like that are kind of, you know, things that are cool, that are not super expensive, that people can win, but reminds them of, hey, Carlos gave it to me. That makes sense. So anyway, that is what we're going to tackle here today. Leave those comments down below if you guys have any ideas about which plushies for the aliens I should use in here and that would work well in here, that are not crazy expensive, and that would be a good size for this. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
So before I start doing the artwork here, I just wanted to show you guys, like again, a little intimidated on what we have going on, because there is a lot of pieces here. Here are all the pieces laid out that I've been kind of leaving out since last night when it got here, just so it can kind of decrease. I have some books on the corners there, just to make it a little bit flatter. We got some stuff over here and over here as well, all kind of laying out just to get flat. So I'm excited to put this on and nervous at the same time. So, like I said, I'll do some progress updates every once in a while on the setup here. I'm not going to do a full-on tutorial because they obviously have their own video, and I'm not going to do a better job than them. But I will show you bits and pieces as we go along. All right, guys, so we got the first part done here. We got the hardest part done, which is the control panel. I would say the artwork went on like 98% right. There was just a couple of bubbles that unfortunately got on there that I couldn't escape. But overall, 98% perfect. You can see the sides here on how that all turned out with these sides. For someone who never does this before, I've only done one other arcade machine in the house. You know, I'm pretty happy with how this went on. The only unfortunate thing, and nothing to do with the artwork, is goddamn Arcade1up and their stupid buttons. And you guys probably already saw it. These little plastic rings that you have to take out. As you can see, unfortunately, this thing clipped over here. Nothing I can really do about that. Because unfortunately, what happened was that you have to remove these, and obviously I tried to remove it as carefully as possible. This one over here on the left came out really easily with no problems. You just have to give it a little bit of force, but Arcade1up likes to glue things, and no matter what I did to this piece over here to get the glue out, this corner over here was just so glued on that nothing I did forced it out. And I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And eventually it just kind of broke off. And I was at that thing for like 15 minutes trying to do it as slow as possible to not break it because I know it's made out of plastic and it broke anyway. So just fair warning on those plastic pieces, be careful because Arcade1up might have went glue happy on one of your pieces. Like I said, this one on the left was easy. The one on the right would not move no matter what I did. So that's the only unfortunate thing. You know, if that's the worst thing that happens with this whole project, I'll be fine with it. You know, I could technically ask for a replacement or actually even replace this from any Arcade1up piece out there. Because these are the generic white pieces from any of the buttons that they use in, you know, the Dragon's Lair over there and stuff. But obviously I don't want to remove her from that, but I'm just saying the pieces are generic. So, they use them on all their buttons, but it's still unfortunate, but what can you do? The artwork though went on great. Love the claw button over here. This was a real pain because you have to take everything out and take all the buttons out and take all the claws. This took like probably like an hour just to do this control panel right now because you have to unscrew everything on the inside, take all of this out, unwire everything so it's basically just the wooden frame, and then put all the artwork on, cut it all up for each side, and then it's done. But I do like the artwork and how it turned out. Love the Pizza Planet in the front. Love the claw button there and the front button. And like I said, everything looks really, really good. My only unfortunate thing is that button, which has nothing to do with the artwork. But moving along to the next part of this, we're going to go ahead and do the front so we can put this on and see what it looks like. All right, guys, I just turned this on so I can make sure that it works because I just mantled the control panel like I told you guys and I haven't seen it working yet. I just did the front. We still got the sides to do, obviously, right now. But man, this looks so good already. Way better than it did before. Look at that claw sitting up there with the aliens. It looks fantastic. Control panel sitting up there looks so much better. And the artwork on the bottom was pretty easy to do, actually. I cut this out like pretty perfectly. I would say I'm gonna give myself a 98% again as far as the cuts around the edges and stuff. It was not that hard. There's no bubbles on the front pretty much at all, anywhere that I can see. A little bit of dust there in the corner, but it looks really, really good. This one went on much easier. Took like at least half the time to do this whole thing and put that in there and connect the claw back or the machine back and turn it back on than it did to just do that control panel. But now we're all almost done. We got 2 sides to go, but the sides shouldn't be too bad. We'll see how it goes. And obviously the claw is working, which is the exact reason I turned it on, is I wanted to make sure, you know, things were doing what they were supposed to do. Buttons all work. It's grabbing the claw there. And things are working as it should. There you go. Alright guys, here we go. The next part is done. We got the right side all put on, as you guys can see here. I'm going to give myself another 98% when it comes to how this looks. These are obviously not bubbles. Those are the screw holes that are there. I'm not putting them in until there actually needs to be a screw that goes... Like, if I need to take this apart for some reason, then I will put the screw in there. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. And I'll keep the little, you know, screw caps that this thing comes with on the side in case I ever decide to screw those down, because you can see some of those holes right there, especially this one is the most pronounced one. But like this went on like 98% perfect. It's really a pain in the ass to put on. First of all, you need to detach this thing, obviously. So you need to remove this and unhatch it from the side like their video says. And also something that they didn't make clear in the video, at least without paying attention to the pictures hard, is that the right side that you're putting on here, make sure you're putting on the one without buzz. Buzz is on the other one that goes on the right side. So this one actually goes on this side, otherwise the door doesn't line up correctly. So put that one on this one and buzz on the other. And yeah, it went on pretty well. I got most of these edges pretty smooth. No bubbles pretty much anywhere that I can see, at least, besides those little screw holes and stuff. But everything else looks really good. The only reason I'm giving it a 98% and not perfect is because this thing is a real pain to get perfect at all times. So when you come here right towards the bottom, there's a little bit of white that unfortunately got left all the way at the bottom. Fortunately, it's not on the edges. It didn't happen on the other side either. It must have been obviously a slightly crooked, but not noticeable at all, especially when you're, you know, this machine sitting on the floor. This is the important part, and it came out perfect up here, 98% with that little white cut that was missed. But I'm still happy with it. Like I said, I don't do this all the time, and this is only my second one I've ever done. The Disney karaoke was the other one I did my own artwork on, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the results so far. One side left. Something else that I wanted to mention real quick before I finish this side up, I'm halfway done here, is definitely recommend getting one of these squeegee things. I got this on Amazon, because then the way I put this artwork on, obviously I'm not a professional, but the way I do it is I start at the top and I make sure everything's aligned, and then I go down slowly and I press this on like this, and I kind of like, you know, go little by little and taking the back off. See how the back's not all the way out on here? I go little by little without taking all the sticky out of the back, and then I just go down little by little on here, just like this. And that's how I haven't gotten really any bubbles on anything, except for the screw holes, of course. But that's how I would do it. So I would definitely get yourself one of these and then go little by little without taking the back off, and just go slowly and then keep taking the back off little by little. That's how I've done all the sides, so seems to work pretty well. All right, guys, it is fully done here. As we were talking about, it looks fantastic. So much better than the ugly artwork that was on this before. And now when I look at this, I can go ahead and be like, hey, now I feel like I'm looking at something from my childhood, because Toy Story is what I grew up with. Toy Story is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. Hence, I have a pinball machine as well. And now to have the iconic claw machine, you know, from Toy Story is fantastic. And like I said, it came out great. You can see that you can I put this sticker on here afterwards. That's a sticker that they give you that you can put wherever you want on the window on both sides. This side went on really, really well as well. Even better than the other side. I'd give this side a 99%. None of the white is on there like the other side on the corner there. I paid extra attention to it. And I'd say I'd give it a 99%. Just a little bit of white on the edges here. But overall, the artwork application, for somebody who doesn't do this very often, I am extremely happy with how this came out. But here's the other side as well. But let me go ahead and set this up and turn it on for you so you guys can see it in all its glory. We'll turn the lights off and everything, and let's see what this looks like in the dark. So here it is in all its glory right here in the dark, as you guys are looking at. Here's the right side. There you go. Here's the claw button over here. We got Buzz and Woody here at the bottom, which looks awesome. We got the little prize there on the door. Everything lit up. The claw marquee looks fantastic. So much better than the original one that was there. That was not a very boring artwork, obviously. This looks crystal clear and really pops with the light. And then, of course, we have this side as well. Luckily, I have the Wheel of Fortune Casino kit next to it, which means that you're going to be able to see most of this artwork even when it's pushed back, at least the top half of it, because obviously this is like on an angle cut, which is great. So I'll be able to, so people will be able to see it as they walk in. But I can't wait to show this off to friends and family, because obviously we all grew up with Toy Story, and it being one of my favorite movies of all time for Pixar. You know, it's freaking awesome to have this in my collection now that I have a Toy Story pinball. Now we added the iconic Toy Story claw machine. Now, of course, this is not done, so we got some things I want to talk to you guys about here in the final wrap-up, because this is not the last time you guys are going to see this claw machine, because we got some other things I want to do. This was step one that I was waiting for, so let's go ahead and talk about it in our final thoughts. So before we get into my final thoughts, here's just a quick shot of what I was talking about. Obviously, you don't get to see most of it. I wish I can see more, but at least when people come in, you can kind of see, holy crap, it's Pizza Planet. You can kind of guess what it is, and then you can see Space Ranger. So I put that Space Ranger in a more perfect spot without even realizing it, because I know it's more to the left than it is a little bit to the right. It's not perfectly centered to the window, but it actually worked out perfectly for this side. Like this side, I measured to be perfect in the window in the middle. So that side is perfect, but this one, I kind of freeballed it because I wanted it to be closer to the window, because I knew this was going to be an issue, and it actually worked out perfectly, because now you can kind of see it when you're walking into the room, smashed with these together. Alright guys, so that was my overview of putting this artwork together, the Toy Story on the Arcade1up claw machine. Obviously, I am super, super happy with it. Shout out to Tulsa Arcades that, you know, put this together, and they did they didn't just do Toy Story. There's a bunch of other artwork there as well. And also, I almost forgot to mention it. So you guys saw the claw that it said on the button. I like that better, but they also do come with the alien sticker as well, so you can pick whichever one you want to use. Just thought I'd mention that. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. I'm also impressed and happy with my own skills, because every time I do this, I get nervous, because I did the Disney karaoke machine upstairs that I've done a review on this channel, and I rethemed it from Guitar Hero that it used to be to my Disney karaoke machine, and I had to apply that artwork myself, and that was just as much of a hassle as this. This one's actually a little bit more because of this thing, because of this panel taking it all apart. But I was nervous putting that, and that one turned out like 95% good, and this one's probably 98% overall. So I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. The only negative thing that happened throughout this whole thing was what happened at the beginning of the video, which is the stupid plastic thing that broke off here. You know, that little piece that broke off that I showed you guys, which obviously is unfortunate. But that had nothing to do with the artwork. That had to do with Arcade1up and being crazy glue happy with that piece, because like I said, the left side came out just fine. I mean, if I ever get bored one day, I could take this thing apart again and get to that white piece. I would have to dismantle the whole thing again, which I wouldn't be doing anytime soon. But I would have to like take it out of another one that's somewhere else that matches that same look. Not all of them are the same. The Dragon's Lair doesn't, because the Dragon's Lair matches, the Galaga one matches, but obviously I'm not going to pull it out of that. So, you know, if I ever get a spare one or come across something like that, that may be something I do in the future. But honestly, once you're looking at it, it's not even that big of a deal. The artwork obviously makes up for it overall. Even though, obviously, it pissed me off. But as far as the artwork goes, I'm happy with how it came out. I'm happy with how it looks, the clarity of everything and how good the artwork looks, the marquee, the artwork, how the instructional video that they had was pretty good, and only a couple of points that I pointed out throughout the video to help you guys out. But other than that, I followed it to a T as far as getting that to go. And the only thing that was a pain in the ass was not the side art and not any of that. That was the easy part. The thing that took me the longest was an hour just on dismantling this, putting all the sides artwork on individually at a time, cutting it all up, then putting it all back together, because you have to take the button out, the joystick and the volume button and all that stuff out, unplug everything, and then plug it all back in. So that took like an hour, maybe even longer, just for that portion alone. And then the rest of it took an hour. So I think it took me like 2.5 hours to do this all together. An hour-ish on just the panel, and then the rest of it like took like an hour. So overall, it wasn't that bad, and I'm super happy that I did this. But like I said at the end of that video, what I'm even more excited about is that now that this is here, I can move on to the next projects that I had with this, because I wanted to get the artwork applied and waiting for that to get here before I took the next steps on this. I think the next thing I want to do for this thing is I'm going to get the I don't know what they're actually called. Obviously, when I do the video, I'll show you guys. But it's like the colored rocks that people put on the bottom. Well, people put like the black gravel rocks on the bottom, and then they put like gems so it kind of reflects off the light. I like the way that looks, and we're going to put that at the bottom. And it makes gripping things a little bit easier, especially the balls and stuff when they roll around, because it's sticking to the rocks as opposed to just a regular floor. So that was a cool idea, so I'm going to do that. I'm also going to, obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing if you guys have any help on which plushies to put in here from the Alien guys and Toy Story and Buzz. If you guys have ones that would fit perfectly in here, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm on the search for that. I'm also going to be filling up the balls finally. I'm still deciding what to put in there. I told you guys I'm probably going to put things in there that people can win that's not super expensive, but still reminds them of, you know, coming from my house. Like, I thought of putting a Pokemon card pack in there. I don't know if it fits, but I hope it does. You know, because Pokemon is something that I like. Maybe my favorite candy. I don't know. I'm still thinking about what can go in there, and I don't want candy to go in there that's only going to last a month, and then I have to worry about taking it out. So we'll see what I think about. But if you guys have ideas, obviously leave those comments as well. I'm thinking about adding a riser to this as well. I don't know if I'm going to or not, because you guys can see, yes, it's definitely, it would be a little bit better if it was a little bit taller, but it's also the same height as the Star Wars. It's also pretty much the same height as the Wheel of Fortune cabinet's right next to it. So I could put it up another 4 inches just so it'd be the same size as Tron. But also, like, I'm standing here and I can move this without a problem right now. Like, and I'm 6 feet and I'm moving it. And yes, like I said, I wish it was a little bit taller so the claw was directly in front of me here. That's why I might get the riser, just to raise it 4 inches, because I feel like the 4 inches would make me look at the claw marquee in front of me, and then I wouldn't be looking underneath at the claw. So I think I might end up getting the riser. So that's something else that we'll do. But yeah, those are the main things. I want to pimp it out with the rocks and the gems on the bottom. I want to get all the balls done. I want to get the plushies done. I want to possibly get the riser. and get all that stuff done, and then we'll come back and do a final overview and review of everything that I bought and how it turned out. But the artwork, slam dunk, super happy that I did it. Can't wait for people to come over now and show off what this looks like, and I think they're going to be super excited to see a machine that they recognize from a movie, just like I am. So guys, if you guys have any questions about anything you guys have seen in today's video, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.